So I've been told that this light is the brightest and lightest 200 watt light in the world right now. And I can barely see right now because I looked directly into it. This thing is actually really bright. Let's power it on. And we are at 10%, 20, 70, that's 100. There's it away, there's it on. It's actually pretty nuts. Like this is a bright sunny room. When I take it away, you can see there's like, it's not dark in here. And this is bright, and this is not even at full power. Yeah, there we go. Now we're at max. And now it's even brighter. Are you kidding me? Like, it's bright. I can feel the heat coming off it. I think I'm getting a tan. I'm gonna take this light and just kind of test it out in a documentary setting, because I normally don't take lights on my films, but with how tiny this is, it's just this and this, I might start packing it with me. So I'm headed to my buddy Zach Ramlin's house, and I'm gonna take it through some paces there, light a couple scenarios, and we'll see how it does. But just before I do that, I wanna show you one more mode here. It's a bicolor light, so you have like full control. You can change this here, go to 6500. Then if I press this down, it goes to music mode. I guess that has some use. I think it goes to the beat. It's looking for the bass. Bum, 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 bum. But anyways, enough of this messing around. Let's get going. So when I got to Zach's house, I wanted to set up the light outside the window for a couple reasons. One, when I put a light fixture inside a room, it begins limiting how I'm shooting. And for me in documentary, I want to be able to follow a person wherever they go. And then secondly, when it's outside the window, it feels more natural. It just feels like sunlight spilling into the room, and then you're lighting a bigger space. This is actually why I like to use really powerful bright lights outside windows to emulate sunlight. The issue with these bright lights is they're really big and bulky, which is what's piqued my interest with this G200. Is I want to see today, can I emulate sunlight through the window with such a tiny little light? And if so, will I start including this in my documentary kit? We got Zach and the beautiful Jackie and Schmal. And there's the light. I'm gonna turn it down. Yeah, there you go. Wow. And it's off. So it's fully dark, and I'm just gonna turn it all the way up now. Genuinely, I was very impressed with how much output I was able to produce with this light. You can see this big white square here on the wall. That feels like direct sunlight coming into the room. Usually this would be a much bigger light doing this, but it's just the tiny G200. And again, I just have this tiny little Westcott stand. It's a simple setup. Look at that. Oh, that's so cool. It feels just like straight up sunlight. Could even like hold it here. Feels like the sun is coming through. Like just having that one little light, because if I was rushed in B-roll and I actually have like a subject in the room, I wouldn't want to set up a whole setup in here, because then it doesn't feel like documentary anymore. It's like just throwing that one light out the window just to give more contrast and lighting helps. And as you can see in these shots, it starts emulating direct sunlight spilling into the room. Maybe this doesn't seem impressive to you, but for the size of light, this is an incredible amount of output. This is literally lighting up a room when there's actual sunlight already spilling into it. Genuinely, I will include this in my kit, because it's like the size of 2 decently sized V-mount batteries, and they weigh about the same. And to have that much power just like in your kit, I think for doc work is really, really helpful. Also too, when you can light an entire space, you have way more options to shoot, and you can move quicker when you just have one lighting setup. Which then leads me to this kitchen. This kitchen was very dark. There wasn't as much light pooling in, but I was trying to motivate light as if it was coming through a window and wasn't working. So I actually just turned the G200 and punched it into the ceiling. And this light was bright enough to create a huge amount of ambient glow. You can see the difference with it on and off. And what's great is I can control the whole light just from the app, and even control the color temperature. It's a bicolor light with a 320 watt output, that weighs less than a kilogram. I don't know if there's anything that exists like this, or at least I haven't used one yet. Now the light does require AC power. It's not battery powered. It would be interesting to see if ZHIYUN in the future comes out with a second version where you can power it with a battery. I'm just not sure if the typical V-mount batteries can keep up with the output for this light, but just means bringing an extra extension cable on set. I'm actually lighting myself right now with the G200 using their 90 softbox grid. I have a diffusion in there. And a little pat on our back too. We just finally finished our edit suite here. It's been an ugly thing for the past 3 years. So we were able to elevate a bit here. Big shout out to Michelle Foy from Elevated Interiors who helped us design this and made these custom desks. Also too, I just got my Mac Studio and I'm very excited to start editing on it. It's been a beast so far with the little bit of rendering I've done with it. And if you wanna know more, I can do a video on that soon. Now in terms of my actual documentary kit that I used on this, it's a pretty tiny kit, FX6, 3 V-mount batteries, the Helix filters from Polar Pro, memory card case, small HD monitor, can be any size. This is a 5-inch audio gear in here, 8060, and then my Sennheiser kit, Sigma 50, Sigma 24, little Westcott stand that I can attach to this roller bag. I love the roller bag because it's very inconspicuous, just looks like luggage. Here's the G200. You can see it just fits in here so tiny. It's like the whole light. It's a 320 watt light here, and it's only taking up that much space in the kit, which is why I'm okay to have it. I have 4 V-mounts, but I only really need to travel with 3 because they last all day. That's why I like V-mounts. Plus 2, there's so much power, D-tap, and USB on the side. Then my other newest addition is this. These are the Polar Pro Helix magnetic filters, and I'm really liking them. Love how they can just pop on and off. Actually have just the thread and the cover on this lens right here. I have a full cinema camera with, of course, my Helios 58. That's the kit. Pretty tiny, but effective. And I am pretty excited to be able to include a light in there now. Gear is good, except when it isn't. And when it isn't is when it's weighing you down and getting in the way of being nimble, efficient, and shooting the story you need to shoot. Sometimes you need all the gear, but often I find one kit will do you just right. Try to keep your gear simple. Do you need gear, Landon?
I hate gear.
There, spoken like a true AOD member. He hates gear, but he loves story. Final thoughts, will I be adding this light to my kit? Yes, I really do think I'll be bringing this out on set quite often. When there's not the opportunity to be bringing in multiple lights in their own roller bags, this is the perfect light to add to my kit because it takes up such little space. It has clean, bright output. Don't know how much the light is gonna be. Hopefully we'll know that by the time we put out the video, so I'll put the price right here. Wow, look at that price. Interesting numbers. I would recommend getting used to using brighter lights because as you move in your career, you're only gonna be shooting wider, bigger sets most likely. And so you're only ever gonna need to be using bigger and brighter lights. So if you can get used to lighting a whole room right now, emulating sunlight, it will improve your cinematography rather than just focusing on lighting one little area, one little shot. That's why I really liked this G200 light is I could place it outside a window and light an entire room. And now I'm free to move wherever I need to and I'm not fighting a light source. I can let the character live their life, move through the space, and it feels like documentary still, but now I'm getting to control how the light is actually coming through the windows. Awesome, have a great day. I'm gonna go watch the Blue Jays now. I hate goodbyes. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. I guess that has some use, music, mode.